It's a hot button issue. Today at my school, we had our intruder, active shooter, active killer day of training. Hi, I'm Chuck. I'm an educator with a new job and a new commute. And that's this podcast, You in the Car with Me. Right now, I'm actually on the way to a soccer game post-training day. And I'm just reflecting on our day of training. We spent a morning with classroom learning today. All of the staff of the district together in the high school auditorium. And we got slides about the basics of the philosophy of our training. Some history lessons also. Responses to active killer situations. Started Columbine, started with me until the way that we started. A lot of language, and different language that different businesses, large corporations do this trainings also. So there's different verbiage that different companies use, but where we're at now, instead of hide under the tables in the library like sadly a lot of kids did at Columbine in 1999, where we're at now is actively fighting for your life, learning instead of being passive, active. Led by the teachers. Rationally respond in a calm manner, in a way that is going to keep the most kids safe and will prevail in those situations instead of becoming a body count. So, yeah, we did that today. We started with like classroom learning, and then in the afternoon, after lunch, we had a little more practical application. I got to use my classroom actually, so it was prime learning for me because when demonstrating things on the doors, put it in my classroom, which was fantastic. There were some other teachers who were not in their classroom, so I heard a lot of people saying that they wish that they had been able to practice in their classroom. But it's fantastic. So yeah, we did some scenario kind of walkthrough. Afternoon, there wasn't rushing, pelted, there were not like cap guns getting fired. It was like if you've played football, the last practice before the game, we would call it the walkthrough. I don't know if other sports do this also, but we would do everything kind of half speed, and we would go through our whole game plan on the field, and just like our helmets, definitely later on in the season. We were just thinking through and going through some of the motions, all mentally on how we would respond. And so we got to do a little bit of practice and more so what are you doing on practicing those things in a way that so we walked out of there today. I think it was a lot of I didn't see anybody who had to do it. So it was very well. Where I'm a little bit hung up on is decision making that I'm going to make at the end of the day. And I think every educator has to think through this, and sadly, every citizen should probably start thinking through this in one respect, because about my legacy, like I'm pretty sure that when that active killer gets to the door, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect all the people. I know a lot of people that would respond well in there, but I also, as a father, just have to think about when I step into that space, it would be a cool story, I guess, for my kids to be able to say that their dad died saving kids from a shooter, but also 4 kids and my wife have a story of how Chuck Bicker didn't come home that day because he was saving 20 kids from a shooter. And I guess that's fuzzy math for me. Like, I think when somebody's at the door that I would respond to protect those people at the door, but I really wish I didn't have to think about that. And I'm sure any of you that are educators think the same way. And if you know an educator, you probably also wish it could come down to that. I think a tool to help think through that is this 85-95 rule. I picture the wording of it. It's an idea that my pastor actually introduced to me about 3 years ago. He didn't make it up, but I heard it. It's like 85% or 80%. I think that's definitely when you see teaching as a ministry, and I believe that the kids in my room, in that classroom, at that school, automatically that God's put us together, believing that God leads all of our experiences, and those things are excellent. So, in the day-to-day, I believe that I am there to connect with kids. Do that. And so when we are put in a line of fire, to put it that way, if we take that ultimate sacrifice, are we sacrificing the 5% that only we can do to fill that 80% that other people could have done just as well? I think you could argue it that way, taking the same reasoning that I just did, believing that God puts teachers and kids together in classrooms and in situations. It could also be easy to interpret that as that being God ordained also. Knowing that God has hand on that, and He knew that was going to happen on that day, and that if it were me, that I would then respond that way, and to God be the glory. But it's crazy calculus. So that's what's on my mind tonight. The drive is over. I'm going to go watch some soccer. But I hope that you keep safe, and I'll see you on the next drive.